Hello, Resident Evil community. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit back and watch this video. As you can see, there's some gameplay going on in the background for your entertainment. This is from one of my videos. This is basically what we're going to be talking about today, and what I hope you will, if you're listening, or if you've heard about me talking about this in the past or recently, what you'll be taking part in. So let's start with the and let's actually just jump right into it, and let's just talk about it. So my plan is to do a Resident Evil 3 mod competition. I've done one of these before, very successful. Had a few competitors, and we had two winners. So if the winners are watching, congratulations again to you guys. And I did promise that I'd do this again. It's just been a long time coming, and since then I've transitioned over to Kick and doing different things over there. But Resident Evil and the Resident Evil community was my home, it was my birthplace into streaming, and it'll always be my sort of hub, hub of the wheel, if you like, to come back to. And I'll never give up on it. And recently I've been seeing a lot of what's next, Capcom, what's next, Resident Evil. So I present to you what is next. I'm going to give to you an event. Now, I know there's been other events in the past, I've seen them, speedrunning events mainly, but what I tend to do is I try to err on the side of community competition. I don't want to kind of single anybody out based on skill gap, or the get good mentality. I want to make sure that everybody can be included in this and people can take part. Obviously, I have to limit spaces, but this event will be worth your time, I promise you, as we go through today's sort of breakdown video. I'll try to keep it short as possible, but editing and stuff, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, so let's begin. Let's start off on what is this competition. So let's go from there. We'll be using this mod that you see before you if you're watching right now. It is the Resident Evil 3 Nemesis scenario mod by Kamizo Lab. Now, if you haven't seen this mod, basically you get to play as Nemesis and you go for a scenario which depicts it from his point of view. So you fight Jill, crazy right? You fight Jill, you fight Brad, and you fight Carlos going through Raccoon City. It's only the first portion of the game, and it's quite short. It's around 45 minutes in length if you're playing it. It's casually exploring, taking zombies out, enemies. But we're not going to be focusing on this part of the game. We're going to be focused on the original mode, so the game that you all know and love, the original Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. So the full game, no changes, but the only change that will be is that you do get to play as Nemesis. You do get to throw a punch, and you do get to use all weaponry: unlimited Gatling gun, unlimited assault rifle, unlimited rocket launcher. But we're going to be talking about that shortly. But that's just basically what you can do. As you can see here, you can like punch zombies' heads and everything else. If you're not watching, then you basically play as Nemesis. If you're just listening, you just basically play as Nemesis throughout the entire campaign. Everything stays the same, all events stay the same, everything stays. The only difference is you're playing the hulking behemoth that is Nemesis, and quite fast in the move speed department, turns like a truck. Hitbox is probably a bit wider, I'm assuming. So yeah, I don't know the figures or the facts, but we'll go with that. So yeah, that is basically what the mod is. So now we're going to go into what the competition is. Playing the original game, as I said in the previous part, we're going to be going through the original game as Nemesis. Now, the idea is that, again, this is not a speed run. I want to make that completely clear. But speed is an element, but it's not a speed run. I'm not looking for the fastest time. I'm looking for completionists. I'm looking for people who can finish the game. But I've got to add an element of difficulty to it. I've got to add an element of competition to it. Otherwise, you would just be a speed run. You would just be running through the game, not doing anything. You'd just be using Nemesis's power to overcome obstacles that might be a bit harder for Jill to overcome if you're playing the original. So, what are we going to do in the competition? What is it going to be based on? So we're going to be playing as Nemesis for the original campaign, and we're also going to be using his rocket launcher, and we're going to be using his punch. That is the only weapons you're allowed to use throughout the entirety of the game. Rocket launcher and his punches, they're the only weapons you're allowed to use. The rocket launcher is unlimited, and the punches can be used whenever you want. Okay, just a small kind of maybe a small moment of sort of recharge, I say, or not recharge, but maybe a small moment of kind of, he throws a punch and stops. If you haven't played the mod, which I highly recommend you do download and grab, all the description and everything it will be in the description box below. You can check that out. So what you'll be doing is you'll be running through the game. You'll be completing the game using only the rocket launcher and the punch. Okay, now sounds quite easy, okay, but remember, there are rooms that are quite difficult to clear. Having the rocket launcher is good, and it does clear things in one shot or faster, but it takes time to raise and lower. Also in Nemesis, he's quite bulky, he's quite fast, so turning him and maneuvering him can be, it could be quite difficult for some players, used to the original game. Now also, another thing to add on to that is it won't just be finishing the game. You will have to beat Nemesis throughout the entirety of the game. So every encounter you have with Nemesis, doesn't matter where it is, you have to beat him every single time. Every time he appears, you have to fight him. So on top of trying to finish it as quickly as you can, not a speed run, but as quickly as you can, while beating Nemesis in every section, but while using only the using only the rocket launcher. Imagine that. Using only the rocket launcher and the punch. Using the only two weapons that Nemesis gets to use in the entire game himself. So, original game. Okay. Rocket launcher. And punches. And beating every Nemesis in the game. Okay. So, that's pretty much the competition. Now we're going to move on. Now, I'm looking for at least 10 competitors to make this kind of work. If I don't get 10, then I will change it slightly, but the idea is in my mind would be 10 competitors, and we do 3 rounds, 10, down to 5, down to 3, and then the final 3, whoever comes first will win the grand prize, and then second and third will also win a prize also. So, that is pretty much the basics of it. I'll be doing a commentary, and I'll also be asking if anybody wants to join me on that, going through it and watching people. Now, because this is a Resident Evil event, and I'm on Kick at the moment, and I don't really stream Resident Evil over on my Kick channel, I basically would be probably doing this on my Twitch side, just because I just think it'd be easier for people who maybe want to jump in and have a chat with me, who can come over that side. I know a lot of people who don't use Kick anymore at the moment, and a lot of people have not gone over there. But I'm happy to go on. I'll be happy to use my Twitch channel to be basically the commentation. It's the commentary channel, and I'll be watching everybody there doing it. Obviously, every competitor, I'm going to need to see their screen, whether it be through Discord or their own stream. I'll bring those up on my side, so won't be any sort of screen share. It'll just literally be having all streams up at once, and I'll just be flicking through and checking everyone's progress. And so like I say, 10 people, 10 players, 5 winners from that. We do round 2, we get 3 winners from that, and then we get to the final. So it's like an elimination. So basically, if you make it through first round, you'll be pretty, even if you came 5th or 4th, you'll be ready to go for round 2. Improve your time and secure yourself in the final placement. So that's kind of the idea where I'm going here with that. Obviously, again, this will be down to kind of the people, the interest, and whether anybody wants to take part in this. Again, this is, like I say, this is like my thoughts, and this is what I want to do for the community. This is giving back to the community. Now you might be wondering, okay, we've listened to you now, Lewis. We listened to you now. We've heard what you had to say. We've told us the rules. You've told us the mod. You've told us, and everything. When is this taking place? What's going on? When are we taking place? So I was thinking in September, after the 14th, as I have a heart surgery booked for the 14th. I know, right? Got my lottery ticket for that. So I've got my surgery on the 14th, and I'm going to have some recovery time. And during that recovery time, I'm going to need things to do where, we'll probably have Mortal Kombat during that time as well, which I'm looking forward to. But also I would like to do something like this is what I wanted to do as well during my recovery period. So yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing if there's any interest for that. So you give you plenty of time to practice, plenty of time to get your hands ready, your muscles ready and that. Now you might be wondering, right, so why should I put all the time in? Why should I put all this effort into doing this and, going for it in a competition. What do I win? What are the prizes? We're here for the prizes. You know, everyone wants to win something. You will win something. Obviously, you've got to come top 3, but you will win something. So, here are the breakdown of the prizes. First place, second place, and third place. Now, I know second and third place isn't as, you know, glamorous as the first place prize, but, I mean, look at that prize. You know, I would, you know, hope that, you know, that is cause enough for you to want to really try and give it your all, give it your best. Now, of course, there may be people that enter this that maybe a bit more versed in the Resident Evil 3, maybe a bit more sort of intuitive with the controls. If we don't reach 10 and we reach less, then we'll adjust to that. But if we don't get the numbers, then I'll obviously have to, you know, cancel the entire thing. I mean, even if we got 3 people, I would happy to do it with 3 people, but then I would obviously change the rules. Again, it's subject to change. I'll put that in red, right at the bottom there of the video. It's subject to change, okay? Yeah, it's subject to change. So, that's kind of it. I don't know what else really to say. Other than that, I mean, I'm sure there'll be questions and other things maybe I've not covered, but this is my general ideas, my general kind of gist of everything. So again, just running it through quickly. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis Scenario Mod, Original Mode, plays Nemesis, rocket launcher only, punches only, kill every single Nemesis encounter, finish the game as quickly as possible, be in the top 5, then be in the top 3, and you win. So 3 rounds, and yeah, elimination style. But yeah, definitely, you know, for the people that are still stuck to it and they're still grinding out, this is for you. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, watching. And I really hope to see you on the battlefields of Raccoon City. So thank you very much. Thank you.